Hi, I'm the Chief Happiness Officer. This is your daily happiness when we learn microhabits that turn stress into a catalyst for happiness and high performance. Together, we are going to turn the horrible stress of the coronavirus into the perfect Navy SEALs-like training ground, and it's going to train our brain to be a master of managing stress and cultivating happiness during tough times. Because even after this pandemic is over, there's always going to be stress, and stress itself is responsible for up to 95% of disease. And it's integral to the immune system to manage stress. So if we want to stay a clear-minded problem solver, we have to have tools that will help us manage stress, and also it's going to keep us healthy now and in the future. Today, the microhabit is going to build on what we learned yesterday, which was to simply build awareness of sneaky stress. It's like stress wears a disguise, and this is the biggest reason why stress is so problematic and that it frequently goes unnoticed. What's really nice is that over millions of years of evolution, as human beings, we have come to adopt universal triggers for stress. And this means if always these things stress us out, we can predict always when we're going to get stressed out and be better at managing it and bouncing back. Because as we learned in the last microhabit, it's all about how we appraise and react to the stress. And what's really interesting is that any sort of stress ultimately boils down into a threat to survival. Now, what can be problematic is this threat to survival can be real or perceived because we're wired to react first and think later, because that's maximized the chances for getting through the situation over millions and millions of years. This is why over time, stress has become our very best friend, because we can rely on certain things always getting us to be ready for action. And so we've evolved to work through the roughest and toughest times because of these stress instincts, and it fires up the body for action. Remember, it's not just a feeling. And so if we know these categories, we're going to have that choice to be aware and to make the decision. Are we going to sustain the stress because we really need to address the threat? Or are we going to signal to our body it's time to rest and relax because this is just a perceived threat? And chronic stress occurs because we don't know how to signal to our body that everything is okay and we need to rest and relax, which means our body's always hyped up on these stress hormones. So we're training ourselves to use stress as a tool as opposed to having it always automatically react. So these threats to survival can be generally categorized as the 5 Ds of stress. These are the universal triggers of stress. And so the next time you feel a negative emotion, I want you to take a step back and see what happened just before you felt that. Because we learned in the last microhabit, negative emotion, irritation, frustration, sadness, this is a representation of stress. This is you knowing that there's stress hormones in your body. It's the language of stress. So if you take a step back and you look at what just happened, were you in danger? Did something drain your energy? Or alternatively, are you hungry? Are you tired? Are you low on energy? Are you about to do some sort of difficult task? Because when you use your brain, that consumes a ton of energy. Did you maybe just have some sort of drama with someone, a disagreement? That drama has a risk of separating you from the tribe in your ancient mind, and therefore you want to maximize survival by not having that type of drama. Maybe you have some sort of doubt or uncertainty. Uncertainty/doubt is a huge trigger for stress. Finally, are you feeling overwhelmed? Do you have any to-dos? Do you have too many to-dos? So overall, these are the 5 Ds of stress. dangers, stuff that drains your energy, drama, doubt, and to-dos when you experience overwhelm. Remember, it can be real or perceived. Let's say you're camping in the forest. Your body releases stress hormones if you see a mountain lion or if you think you see a mountain lion and it turns out just to be the shadow of the moving bush that you saw out of the corner of your eye as the wind blew. So the foundation for managing stress starts with understanding these 5 Ds or subcategories of threats to survival, which are universal triggers for stress. And today, your daily microhabit, because we want to do something super simple that's going to build muscles that will help you manage stress and ultimately cultivate happiness. So your daily microhabit, when you feel negative emotion, which is stress in disguise, irritation, anger, sadness, we want to take a step back from yesterday and identify the universal survival threat that triggered that feeling, one of the 5 Ds. So practice this throughout the day. You're going to be doing just like reps in a gym, these different exercises that will build your muscles. Keep up the good work, and remember, we're in this together and it will only make us stronger.